human beings are meant to care about each other. It is who we are fundamentally. And if we don't have that caring in our lives, we shrivel up. And it's so much of what's wrong in our society right now is this notion that people should be so independent as opposed to mutually dependent.
Older adults, they live in these homes that used to be filled with their families, and now it's mostly just them. And the number one reason for social isolation in the United States is living alone.
Many people want to stay in their own homes as they grow older. But how does someone do this without becoming isolated? One answer is home sharing.
Home sharing is when two unrelated people live together. So as opposed to a romantic couple, a partnership, a parent-child, it is when two people move in together and share the home. You're default sharing each other's lives.
There are people out there that don't own a house and you have a big house. Share your house if you have a big house. Why not?
The number of people over 65 who can't afford their rent is projected to rise by 42% in the next 10 years. With affordable housing in short supply, where will they go? An existing shared home provides lower rent for a home seeker and additional income for a home provider.
Especially people who are on fixed income, like people on disability, Social Security, SSDI, they often don't have great options when it comes to housing.
Fairfax Vest Pocket, a group of 6 homes in Northern California, provides shared living for people with disabilities, single parents, and senior citizens. Each person has their own room and shares other community areas of the house. Rick Miles lived there for 5 years while waiting for his own affordable apartment for low-income seniors.
The cost of rental is very inexpensive and affordable. It's just a good interim to fulfilling your needs at the moment. It's very, very needed and appreciated.
The idea of needing an affordable place to live and earning extra money is often a reason why people decide to do shared housing.
When Eve Stone decided to share her house, she went one step further. She created a Junior Additional Dwelling Unit, or JADU. JADUs don't exceed 500 square feet and are built within an existing family home.
I didn't need all that much room. My family wasn't here anymore. I just quartered off 2 bedrooms that happened to be together and also had private entrance into the garden. It became a little studio. Simple enough. If you're looking for a little extra income, it's there, and you don't have anybody in your house. You know, you still have your privacy. It just seems like it's developing more and more that these types of things are necessary. We need them.
Some people aren't used to sharing their home with anyone other than their own family who moved out long ago. For them, change is hard.
They're resistant because they're scared. It's daunting, the idea of having someone come into your house, someone that you don't know, a stranger. It interrupts your privacy and your way of living and that kind of thing. So they're fearful of strangers and what could happen, and people observing their way of living. It's like when my son comes over, well, Mom, why do you have this? Why do you do this? It's like, leave me alone, this is my house.
One of the things that happens to people as they get older is that their lifelong friendships start disappearing. So a housemate is a kind of companionship, and new friends. It's new friends.
We hear often that I started for the money, but I stayed for community. That it's all of a sudden, it wasn't scary having someone in the home. It's like, oh, wow, there's this person there. And this one lady's like, just hearing someone walk around in the house makes me feel comfortable that I'm not alone.
There are nearly 60 nonprofits across the country that offer home sharing programs. Covia, a partner of Front Porch, is a provider of services and housing for seniors in Northern California. Their shared housing program is called Home Match.
Home Match is like a dating service, but for roommates instead of for romance. And so we're a comprehensive, very personalized service where we work with you hand in hand to find just the right match for you. We have a long application you fill out to really understand your preferences, who you are. We interview you in person or visit your home because we really want to get a feel for your essence, because we're going to match you based on compatibility.
The idea of trying to find a roommate through Craigslist was making me insane. The anxiety that I was having of trying to find a stranger to live with, it's not the same as when you're in college or in school. And the intake forms, at first I thought, whoa, okay, that's a lot. But you need to have a lot of information that you give them before they try and make a match, because you're trying to put two people together who don't know each other at all. And how are you going to make a good match if you don't have any information?
We spend 2 or 3 hours on a living together agreement where we actually sit down and talk about the nitty-gritty details and set expectations up front about what the living situation is going to be like. So who's going to clean the bathroom? How often? What space in the refrigerator will they have? Can they have overnight guests? How many days? Of what gender? Can it be a romantic partner? So we really make sure that expectations are set from the very beginning so that when they move in, there aren't surprises.
The key thing when they were interviewing each other was to pay attention to any red flags that started waving. Often people ignore that because they think that they're being picky. You know, oh, I'm being too fussy. It's really crucial, because if they ignore a red flag, it's something that really is going on, and they're going to have to deal with it sooner or later in the household.
It's very simple. The important thing is that the residents in a unit come together and just discuss what one needs and the other needs, and so on, so that everyone feels free. Otherwise, it gets confined, it gets irritating, it gets annoying. It can either be an answer to your problems or a misery. One or the other.
Sometimes the tenant can do a trade of services, can drive the owner on grocery trips, doctor's appointments, errands, that kind of thing, or they can cook for them, or they can walk their pet or garden or something, and then the rent is even reduced more.
It's not healthcare. So they can't be working with your medicine, helping you get out of bed, feeding you. So none of the activities of daily life. And the reason is most of the people that we're placing, they're not trained healthcare professionals. And so there's a liability and a risk if they were to undertake that. So if someone says, I want someone to cook me dinner 5 nights a week and clean the house, we say, okay, if you want someone to help occasional meal prep, if you can't, when one woman had a shoulder injury, couldn't do cleaning, that's fair. But it isn't something where there's a rigid schedule where they're an employee. It's a fine line, but we really try to draw that distinction.
If you have somebody that you live with, you have more opportunity for that kind of reciprocity of giving and receiving that we actually need.
It really gives me security to have somebody like you here.
Yeah. He fell one day, so I taught him how to get up.
It's scary when you fall down and think nobody's around.
Yeah. He's lonely when he's here by himself. And Home Match have given him secure that he's okay at nighttime because he don't hear very well. He don't see too far in front of him. And like he always say, you hear me when I wake up? Yeah, I hear you when I wake up. I said, I'm your ears and your eyes here. So Home Match has been good for both of us. Yeah.